in a situation. Maybe you are in a leadership role and you have been told you sound too aggressive. You sound way too aggressive. Has it ever happened to you? It happens to a lot of us. And in this video, I want to share with you a couple of insights. I can't go into all details. You definitely want to subscribe to my channel to learn as much as you can. But I want to give you some insights in terms of how you can not sound aggressive as a leader. Now, this channel heavily focuses in on advanced communication skills and strategies to help you communicate more confidently and concisely under pressure so that you can be more visible in your roles, you can be on camera, you can gain more income, more influence, and etc. So if this sounds like something that is interesting to you, you definitely want to subscribe to my channel to learn a lot more. Now, if you are a woman in leadership, you are at a very good place because many times, depending on the role that you might be in, you may have been told you sound too aggressive. So, I want to give you a couple insights to consider as well. If you happen to be a man in leadership as well, I know you probably have maybe heard this also. So, this is one of those topics that is a universal concern for leaders. And I want to preface this by saying that it is universal, but there may be aspects of our lives today that I focus a bit more on the women because I know that we're told this quite a bit. Now, I want to know from you, have you ever been told that you sound aggressive? If you have, let me know in the comments below. But let me tell you why people will say you sound aggressive. I'm going to give you just what I've learned over the past 20 years. Some of the reasons why, and I'm going to highlight these and we'll go into more detail as we go through the live. Some of the reasons why people say other people sound aggressive, specifically as leaders, is because they are being assertive or they are asking for something that most people feel as if they shouldn't say anything about. That's number one. They're asking for something. Number two, their tone of voice may be a bit different than what it normally is. Now, I want to share with you a couple of things that you can do to prevent that from happening. Number three, a reason why people think they come off and sound aggressive has a lot to do with what they are not saying, believe it or not. Their facial expressions, eye contact, all contribute to people thinking someone sounds aggressive. And my fourth reason why people may sound aggressive as leaders is because they just have not been in high stakes, high pressure situations like you all have been in, and what is the main focus of my business at Excite Excellence Incorporated. And they just simply don't understand how do we communicate in those type of situations. Now, let's go into each one of these in detail as much as we can. I know you all are joining live today. Welcome to the channel. Let me know what part of the big beautiful world you all are joining from today, and let me know, have you ever been told you sound too aggressive? Have you ever been told you sound too aggressive as a leader, maybe as a woman in leadership? Let me know in the comments below. As I mentioned, one of the reasons why initially people may say that you sound too aggressive is because there is something that you are asking for. Now, let's go into detail on this. Have you ever been afraid to ask for something in a professional setting? Maybe you are a business owner, maybe you are a leader of an organization. Have you ever felt a bit timid to ask for something? Well, normally what happens is when people are at a point when they have to ask for something, there is a lot of hesitation that happens in here where they don't feel like they want to ask for whatever that thing is. Now, most people that are not subscribed to the show will say, "Well, I don't want to ask. I don't want to be a bother. I don't want to cause any problems or any issues." And so they'll sit and they'll stay very quiet whenever it comes time for whatever it is they need to ask about or ask for, they just will not say anything. Now, when you decide that you have mastered some of the skills I talk about here on the channel, you've learned how to modify your tone of voice, you know how to make direct eye contact. You've listened to my cowboy analogy hopefully a couple of times. You know how to manage those very difficult conversations and etc. Then you will put yourself in a very empowering position so that when those situations come up, when most people are a bit afraid to ask for something or to make a request, you will feel more empowered to simply ask for the request. Now, as I mentioned, most people will not ask for a request. They will not ask for something specifically. That is the reason why when someone decides that they want to say something or they're asking for something, they may say, "Oh, that person sounds really aggressive." Now, if you happen to be a woman in leadership, sometimes this happens to us. There are different industries, different roles that may be more dominated by men, where you may see this happen. You may find yourself in situations where people say, "Well, you probably shouldn't be saying anything. You should be quiet." People say this all the time. Now, it's not every industry and not every person feels this way, but in some industries, women are looked upon a little bit differently. As I mentioned, not all and not everyone. That's just as a clarifying point. But if you're that person that tends to ask, whether you are a woman or a man, people are going to look at you and say, "Wow, this person is asking for something that is a bit more out of the norm than what we expect." And as I mentioned, the reason why it's out of the norm is because people do not feel comfortable asking for things. Now, that's the first reason why you may sound aggressive as a leader, because you may be asking for something specifically that other people are just simply afraid to ask. Now, the next reason why you may sound aggressive, maybe people think you sound aggressive as a leader, is directly associated with your tone of voice. How many of you have been in a situation as a leader where you were upset and frustrated and you noticed, your tone of voice started to change? Maybe you added a little bit more depth to your voice, maybe your voice increased, maybe you got very animated. All of that comes into play. It all comes into play when someone thinks you sound aggressive. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But hello and welcome to those of you watching the live today. Let me know what part of the big beautiful world you all are joining from today. And if you've ever been told you sound aggressive as a leader, you know where to go. Put it in the comments below. Okay, why is this such an issue? Why is this an issue as it relates to your tone of voice? I talk about this a lot on my channel. And one of the things that you have to learn how to do when you are at a point on your journey as a leader where you are trying to communicate at a higher level than your peers, when you are that person that can actually be in those very high stakes, high pressure situations in terms of how you communicate, there is a baseline that everybody has in terms of how they communicate to other people on a day-to-day basis. Now, you have to determine what is your specific baseline. What is it? What is your baseline? If you don't know your baseline, then it will make it very difficult for you to be able to adjust it depending on the situation. Now, I talk about this a lot in my high stakes communication intensive, which is a transformational intensive that I have on my website at exciteexcellence.org. But I talk about this a lot because many times we just don't understand how we communicate and how other people perceive us to communicate. And if you take some time and learn what is your baseline, then depending on the situation, if you need to show additional excitement or a heightened level of excitement, or maybe you need to show a level of disgust as it relates to a topic, you know what you need to do. Do you need to turn your voice up? Do you need to turn it down? Like, you know exactly what you need to do. Most of the time, people don't do that. Now, how does tone of voice play into someone sounding aggressive, or people think they sound aggressive? Most of the time what happens is when people are very passionate about something, maybe it is a topic that they are very much enthusiastic about, or maybe it's something they completely detest, their emotions will come out in terms of how their voice sounds. How many of you have ever been in a situation where you were in a room with leaders and you found that leaders started to raise their voice, or they started to talk a little bit softer, or maybe they had a little bit of an attitude with what they were saying? Have you been in those situations? I have. And I have seen this firsthand over the past 20 years. I've been in various senior executive leadership roles. This is the reason why tone of voice is something that is very, 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 very important, because when people hear you change your tone of voice to a drastic level, maybe it goes very high or very low, people immediately feel like you are coming across as being aggressive. Why? Because the way that you are communicating is not the way that you normally communicate with other people. Now, I'm not telling you to completely talk the same way in a monotone voice every time you speak with someone. Because some of the best public speakers, yes, I did say public speakers, when you're communicating in those very high stakes, high pressure situations, you are basically a public speaker. Okay. Many people will say, no, public speaking is for TED Talks and it's for different types of conferences and etc. Absolutely not. Everything you've heard about that is completely not true. Public speaking is for your day-to-day conversations, and especially if you want to communicate confidently and concisely under pressure, you need to learn some public speaking. But as a public speaker, you know what your voice can do. You know how you can make a big influence on the room, how you can change the tone or the direction of a conversation simply by the way that you are changing your tone of voice. This is the reason why people get thrown off when they think people sound aggressive because the way they're communicating is out of their norm. Now, you can use this to your advantage. As I mentioned, you can influence conversations, you can influence situations by your tone of voice, but you have to use it wisely and you have to use it in a way to where you are being authentic and you're not manipulating people. Now, another reason as to why or how to not sound aggressive as a leader. Remember, we talked about you have to take some time and understand what your baseline is. You have to know that you want to have a pretty good grasp of how you communicate on a day to day basis. That will help you out tremendously. Being that person that can ask for things, sometimes people feel as if that's aggressive. So you still can ask for certain situations and things, but it's the way you say it is oftentimes why people say one person sounds aggressive and one person sounds completely like they're just talking normally. My third reason, a way to not sound aggressive, is to be very mindful of your facial expressions. Now, I talked to you already about two ways. Now, your facial expressions will tie into everything else. If you know that you have a baseline and you know you need to elevate your baseline, lower your baseline, or stay at your baseline, depending on the conversation. And your facial expressions show something completely different. Let's say you're talking about a topic and you're very excited about it, but your face shows that you're completely annoyed. All of that will say, this person sounds kind of aggressive. Like, what's wrong with them? Like, what is going on with them? They're saying this, but they're reacting this way. Controlling your facial expressions is one of the most important aspects of how you communicate as a leader, especially as a woman in leadership, because this happens a lot. People will tell other individuals and say, "Oh, she sounds aggressive and etc." I've been told that and I've heard that. So I know this is not something I'm making up. No, this is truly what actually happens sometimes as leaders. Now, if you can control your facial expressions, or if you even think for one moment there's no way you can control your facial expressions, oh, you may think this is just the way I speak, this is the way I communicate, I can't control my face. Let me tell you, I can help you do that. I can help you to control your facial expressions depending on what is being said and how it's being said, so that you are projecting yourself as someone who can handle themselves under pressure, no matter how hard or how hot the pressure may be. Now, if you want to learn more about how to really control how you are communicating as a leader, you absolutely want to sign up for my high stakes communication intensive. It is one of the most detailed, surgical like approach to communication that you will find anywhere. You will learn how to control your facial expressions with my intensive. Now, the last reason I want to share with you of how not to sound aggressive, sometimes it may be just the fact that you are in a room that you have completely just outgrown. You may be around people that are at a place where they don't understand the nature of high stakes, high pressure communication. They may be at a different level in terms of the experiences that you've had, the situations you've navigated. And by the sheer fact that you are subscribed to my channel or you follow my content, you already are in that category. You are already at that heightened level, that more advanced level than other people in terms of how they communicate. And when this happens, people that do not communicate at your level, they look at you and say, wow, she's really aggressive, or I can't believe how aggressive he sounds just because you're doing a couple of things that I talked about at the beginning of the video. Now, there's a lot more that I can go into as it relates to this topic, but I was asked this question by an individual because they had a complex situation going on and they knew what the end result of the conversation needed to be, but they did not want to sound too aggressive. And we talked about a couple of ways for them not to sound too aggressive. And once this individual had the conversation, everything went well. Even though it was a very difficult conversation, it did not come across as aggressive just by a couple of the strategies that I mentioned here in this video, plus a few more extra strategies and secrets that I share only with the clients that I work with. Now, I appreciate you all for being here. And if you are one of my amazing subscribers, I appreciate you all so much. And if you are new to me, welcome, of course. There are a couple of videos that I would highly recommend for you to take a look at on my channel. I do have a playlist on my channel now that has a couple videos that can give you some fundamental things to keep an eye on and strategies and techniques for you to start implementing and incorporating in your day-to-day conversations that can help you start to communicate more confidently and concisely under pressure. Any videos on my channel that talk about eye contact, listen out for my cowboy analogy, facial expressions, body language, controlling your emotions under pressure will all help you in addition to thinking on your feet. So if you are new to the world of high stakes communication, or maybe you are not new to the world, maybe you're at a place where you need to enhance your skills, maybe you are in a very high visible role, excuse me, then you absolutely want to take a look at those videos specifically because they will give you a good place to start on your journey. If you are new to me, I do go live here on YouTube at least about 7 times a week. My live schedule has been a bit off the past couple of weeks just because I've had some changes personally that have impacted my live schedule, but I believe I have it all figured out now. So my hopes is later today or hopefully tomorrow, I'll send a post out to my audience so you all have the new live schedule. There's a couple dates that will change slightly, but there's some dates that will still stay the same, such as my Fridays Q&A. Those will still stay the same because I enjoy being with you all and providing you with any insight that I can. So we go live here consistently, and this is the only channel here on YouTube that really focuses in on high stakes, high pressure communication in a live format that I do here on my channel to help you. Now, if you want to start seeing some live content, some live interactions of me having to shut situations down, then you want to stay tuned for my executive presence in action playlist that I am working on. It will help you out tremendously. There's a lot of different things that are going to be coming up here for my channel. Many of you know, and I have a video I just recorded about this. Many of you know my channel has grown significantly. We're getting very close to one of the big YouTube milestones is being 1,000 subscribers. It's not easy to get to 1,000 subscribers for those of you who are content creators here on YouTube. It is a big milestone, but I'm at the point where I'm going to continue growing this channel, but I'm actually about to start doing another channel that'll be a little bit different to help you all and also provide some support on just different aspects of things that I enjoy, such as vehicles and etc. So I have a vehicle, I'm going to be working on it, not mechanic wise, but there are some cosmetic things and some mechanical things that are issues. But I want you all just to walk on my journey because many of you know I like cars and many of you like cars too. And you may like other things, and we may have other things in common that you probably would not have learned about if you were just following me here on my business page. So I have a lot of things going on. I appreciate you all being a part of my journey. The channel will continue to grow. I'm going to continue with the channel, but just know that I've gotten to the point where I've grown and now I have a good idea in terms of how this works. So I'm going to provide you all with something else to keep in mind if you choose to watch that type of content. You'll learn a little bit more about me personally than what I would actually share here on my business channel. Appreciate the heart emojis, friends. I have a book, the ebook. I have completely finished the ebook. It is a free ebook that I'm going to be announcing, launching. I'm just working on the tech side of it in terms of landing pages and all that. But I have an ebook that talks about communicating under pressure. It is a mini ebook, but the nice thing about this ebook is it is a special surprise included in it. There is an assessment inside this ebook, and this is completely free. The assessment is a high stakes communication assessment. It is something you can do online. It will show you the aspects, and thank you for the heart emojis, friends. It will show you the aspects of how you are communicating as a leader that you may need to work on, and the aspects that you are doing very well at. It will give you a score. The assessment, you literally can complete it in probably 2 minutes. That's it. It is very, very quick. It's yes or no answers. It's something that will help you on your journey, regardless of where you are, to heighten how you want to communicate as a leader. If you need some additional support outside of that and you're ready to really take this seriously, because maybe you're missing out on different financial opportunities. Maybe you're missing out on opportunities in general. Maybe you're just being completely overlooked because you're not able to communicate really well under pressure. Or maybe you're about to be in a highly visible role where you're going to be on the camera quite a bit. You're going to be on social media a lot. You're welcome to reach out to me after you complete the assessment, but this is all free. This is my gift to you all, and I'm here really to support you. I do have another actual book, a book I'm actually going to be publishing this year about executive presence. Now, this is not going to be a mini ebook like I already have. No, this is going to be a serious book. This is going to be my first book as a author. And I've already started working on that during the time that I was away or have been working on a couple things. So a lot of you're going to see a lot of changes happening in the channel. Just bear with me. They're all for good. They're all for good. The channel's just growing and I'm trying to grow with it as well. I appreciate you all so much for just being here and being supportive. You know exactly who you are. Some of my amazing subscribers that comes to support me all the time when I'm live. I appreciate you all so much. And I'm looking forward to this upcoming year because some amazing things are going to happen for sure. I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now.